Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the demon in Amity Park and got Harem? Part 1. Huge shout out to Mass Writer for this story. If you want more awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. Naruto. A half-demon. A ninja. A friend. A member of Akatsuki. Naruto was a good kid at one point in his life, but all the abuse he took in as a kid finally made him snap. On the day Naruto was born, both his mother and father died. His mother died right after childbirth, and his father was killed when he sacrificed himself to seal the QB away in Naruto. Since that day, Naruto's mother's childhood friend, Ryu, took care of him. When Naruto turned 5 years old, Ryu trained him in his techniques and fighting styles. 2 years later, Ryu enrolled Naruto in the academy. When Naruto graduated, he was assigned to Team 7 with his crush, Sakura Haruno, and his rival, Sasuke Uchiha. The team had many missions together, but one mission would change the course of history forever: the retrieval of Sasuke Uchiha. After the disastrous events during the Chunin exams, Naruto promised his childhood crush that he would bring the runaway Uchiha back to the village for her. When he finally succeeded in bringing the Uchiha back, he was never given the praise he felt he deserved. Instead, when Sakura saw the state the Uchiha was in, she only felt anger for his injuries. Rather than thank him, she hit Naruto in the face and yelled at him, calling him a demon and a monster. Her cruel words broke his heart. Not only had Sakura been angry, but the villagers, who had also seen the battered state of the Uchiha, were outraged. They attacked the disheartened Naruto, cutting him, stabbing him, hitting him, beating him as much as they felt Sasuke had been beaten. When Naruto saw an opening in the mob, he took off running out of the village, but not before looking back and swearing revenge on the village for treating him the way they did. While on the run, Naruto ran into the infamous Itachi Uchiha, traitor of the Uchiha clan. After learning about his abuse, Itachi took Naruto to the leader of Akatsuki and requested that Naruto join their ranks. After all, there was so much potential in the young Jinchuriki. The leader agreed. Over the next 3 years, Naruto trained with his new family, getting stronger and faster. They hunted down every one of the Jinchuriki until only the QB sealed within Naruto was left. The Akatsuki did not want to lose their little brother, but they needed to extract the QB for their plans to work. Word leaked out that the Akatsuki only needed one more bijou. Ryu, who had left the day Naruto did after his doomed retrieval mission, got word of this and told the Akatsuki how to separate Naruto's and QB's soul without killing either of them. It took 3 days to fully and safely separate their souls. Once all the bijou were sealed into the statue, the Akatsuki moved each bijou into one of the 9 rings that were assigned to a member of the group. With their plans finally completed, the Akatsuki devised a plan to attack Konoha. A few days later, the Akatsuki made their move against Konoha. Although they fought hard and long, the Akatsuki could not win. One by one they fell. Pain and Konan were taken out by Tsunade and Jiraiya. Zetsu went down at the hands of Team 8. Tobi and Itachi were executed by Kakashi and Sasuke. Kisame was destroyed by Team 9. Kakuzu and Haiden were both slain by Team 10. Sasori fell to Sakura, and his partner, Deidara, was killed by the Sand siblings. Only Naruto was left. When he saw that his friends were no more, something in Naruto snapped. Naruto had awoken his own demonic abilities. He finally became what the people of the Hidden Leaf Village had called him for years: a demon. Naruto charged up a Rasengan with the deadly demonic energy and slammed it into the ground at the middle of the Leaf Village. The village and its people didn't have a chance. The village was completely demolished, reduced to a crater. Only part of the Hokage monument had survived the demolition, the statue Naruto had once devoted his entire career to be a part of. Why? Why did they die? The plan was perfect. We weren't supposed to lose. Naruto thought as he rested at the base of a dead tree close to the newly created crater and the Hokage monument. Only the 4th and 5th heads were still intact. Everyone's dead. There's nowhere to go, and to make matters worse, my Rasengan tore so deep into the planet, it set off a volcanic disturbance. Naruto thought as he looked around himself and saw lava spewing out of the ground. At this rate, the planet will explode. Naruto reached into his weapon pouch under his torn and burned Akatsuki cloak and pulled out a kunai. I'd rather end my own life before the planet ends it. The blonde brought the kunai up to eye level with both hands and thought about the family he lost only hours ago. I'm coming. With that final thought, Naruto closed his eyes, raised the kunai a little higher, then used all his strength to thrust toward his stomach. Clang! The blonde had been expecting a whole lot of pain, but he didn't feel anything. His blade had been stopped short. Naruto opened his eyes and saw that something had stopped him from ending his life. He looked closer and saw it was some sort of black metal claw that was attached to a white rope of hair. Naruto quickly looked up, but caught only a glimpse of more white hair before he was met with a fist holding another metal claw. The metal-enhanced fist slammed into Naruto's cheek before he could get a better look. He went sailing right through the dead tree behind him and slammed into the ground about 5 feet away. What the hell do you think you're trying to do? A familiar voice snarled from the spot which Naruto had been forcibly rejected. Naruto weakly rolled to his feet and traced the voice to where it came from. The blonde saw a man that looked to be in his late 20s standing at about 6 foot. The man had long white dreadlocked hair that reached down to his knees. The dreadlocked hair was separated into 5 separate dreadlocks. At the tip of each lock was a black bell. On the farmost right and left lock, there was the claw and the fist before. Before Naruto knew it, they slowly morphed into bells, just like the others. He ignored the odd weapons, as he had seen them before, and began looking over the man again. The man had black eyes that were narrowed in a way Naruto could only conclude it meant that the man was pissed off at him, not that he cared. The stranger was wearing a black trench coat with the sleeves torn off, which was open and flowing in the wind, just like his hair. Underneath that he wore a black tank top and white bandages wrapped around his arms. The man also had on a pair of black cargo pants and wore a pair of black sandals. The thing that really stood out about him, though, was the sword strapped to his waist. It looked like a simple samurai sword except the hilt, which was long and topped with what looked like a jewel. What color jewel? The man's yelling brought Naruto out of his dazed examination. I said, what the hell do you think you're doing? The man yelled out at the downed again. Naruto only glared at the man, like he had done something to piss Naruto off, not the other way around. I said. The man yelled again as he threw his leftmost dreadlock spell, morphed back into a claw, which attached to Naruto's throat, then pulled within inches of the man's face. What the hell do you think you're doing? Arg, put me down, Ryu. Just leave me alone and let me end it. Naruto yelled out, trying desperately to remove the metal claw from his neck. Are you funking stupid? Killing yourself won't solve anything. Ryu yelled at Naruto, tightening the claw around Naruto's neck. It won't matter if I don't. This planet will. Naruto managed to grunt out, the claw making it harder for him to breathe. And I refuse to live a life without my family. Think about it. Do you really believe they would approve of you killing yourself just so you could be with them? Ryu questioned the blonde as he loosed the claw around the blonde's neck. Naruto lowered his gaze, a brooding expression on his face. They would never ever in their right minds want you to commit suicide just so you could be with them, Ryu answered for the blonde. He let Naruto down and returned the claw to a bell. Maybe you're right, but the planet will do me in when it blows. I'm not immortal anymore. Without QB, I can die just like anyone else, the blonde said as he looked sadly at the ground. Then I will send you somewhere else, Ryu said. What? Where? Naruto asked, his gaze snapped up from the ground and back to Ryu. Well, powerful demons have the ability to go to different dimensions and other planets. So I could send you somewhere else so you could live, Ryu explained. Naruto thought about it for a few minutes. He could go live in a completely unknown dimension or planet and live his life there, or he could stay here and wait for the planet to explode, resulting in his death. He briefly thought about staying but remembered what Ryu said about his family. Staying on a planet that was about to blow would still be considered suicide. He had his answer. All right. I'll go. That's a good kit, Ryu said with a smile on his face, but the nickname made Naruto glare at him. I'm not a kid anymore. So stop calling me kid. Naruto growled at him. Nope. To me, you're still the little kid that would hide under the bed when lightning would strike, Ryu said with a smirk gracing his face. Arg, I thought I told you to never bring that up. Naruto yelled out. I can't seem to recall that ever happening, Ryu said as he cupped his chin in a thoughtful manner. Naruto groaned, but decided to change the subject. So, how do I go to this other world? HMO. Well, all I have to do is a couple of hand seals and a portal will open up, Ryu explained. Okay then. Let's go! Naruto yelled out. Wait a minute. You can't go to a new planet wearing those torn cloths, Ryu said. Well, what do you have in mind? And if you haven't noticed, the planet's gonna blow up, so maybe you should hurry, Naruto told Ryu as he put his hands behind his head. Still the little brat he was when he left, Ryu thought with a smile on his lips. Just a second, Ryu said, reaching into his overcoat pocket. I have all the time in the world, Naruto sarcastically said. Ryu pulled out a scroll, unrolled it, and unsealed something from it. When the smoke from the scroll finally died down, Ryu was standing there with a giant scroll on his back and some cloths in his arms. Here, put these on, Ryu said. He threw Naruto the cloths and turned around to give the blonde some privacy. Naruto looked skeptically at the ANBU armor mixed in with the outfit he had been tossed, which consisted of a button-up white shirt, a pair of black pants, a black overcoat, and a headband without the metal plate. What's with the ANBU armor? Naruto asked as looked over the outfit again. I don't know what's on the planet now. I haven't been there for about 17 years. So, think of it as extra protection, Ryu explained with his back still turned. You're sending me to a planet that might be dangerous, Naruto shouted. This is coming from the kid that joined Akatsuki and captured 8 of the tailed demons, Ryu said. Arg, shut up! Naruto yelled as he threw the old, torn Akatsuki cloak off and put on the ANBU outfit first, and then the other outfit on top of it. Naruto removed the slash-leaf headband from his head and put on the plateless headband. So, what's with the scroll on your back? He asked. He put the slashed headband in his pocket. Over the years I traveled around and in every place I visited I always picked up some jutsu or equipment, and sealed it into the scroll. So far, it has a hell of a lot of jutsu, along with various cloths, weapons, training equipment, and some other junk, Ryu told him. He took off the scroll and handed it to him. You'll need it. Not sure what you'll need it for, but it will probably come in handy sometime in the future, but make sure no one else gets their hands on it. I've been calling it the Master Scroll ever since I made the thing. Naruto took hold of the Master Scroll with a little trouble, since the thing weighed a ton, and placed it on his back. Thanks. So, am I ready yet? Because I don't think the planet's gonna hold, Naruto said as he looked at the crater he made and saw that more lava was leaking out of the ground. Almost. Ryu reached into his inner coat pocket again and pulled out another scroll. Here. Ryu handed it to the blonde. What's in this one? Naruto asked, taking the scroll. It's a sword. A powerful sword, Ryu empathized. Naruto unrolled the scroll and unsealed the sword that was inside of it. When the smoke died down, there was a sheathed samurai sword on the ground. Then when Naruto bent down to pick up the sword, he saw Ryu back away from him. What's wrong? He asked as he looked over the sword. I can't touch the sword, Ryu said, eyeing the sword distrustingly. Why? Naruto asked, unsheathing the sword and gave it a few practice swings. Only humans and half-demons can touch the blade, and of those two only half-demons can use it to its full potential, Ryu said, still eyeing the blade. What will happen if a full demon touches it? Naruto asked as he resheathed the sword. It shocks the living hell out of us, Ryu said. You don't say, oh my Kami! Look at that bird! Naruto yelled out, pointing behind Ryu, who quickly turned around to see the bird. Naruto took the opportunity to poke Ryu's ass cheek with the sheathed blade. Upon contact, the sword sparked, which caused Ryu to scream at the top of his lungs and whirl around angrily. Ah! You son of a bitch! That hurt! Ryu screamed as he protectively guarded his ass. Payback's a bitch, Naruto said with a huge smile on his face. I oughta, Ryu began to say before another spurt of lava erupted from the ground about half a mile away from the two. Maybe we should hurry this up, Ryu stated. Yeah. So, what's with the blade? Naruto asked. It's the Sword of Earth, the Tenseiga. Around the beginning of life on this planet, there lived humans on Earth, angels in heaven, and demons in hell, Ryu said. Well, when Lucifer was still in charge in hell, before my great-granddad took over, there was a human on Earth who wanted power. Lots of power. The power of heaven, hell, and earth. So, the stupid funk somehow managed to get his hands on some fire of hell and heaven. He used the fires to forge the blade of heaven, the Tenseiga, from an angel's wing, and the blade of hell, Soanga, from a demon's fang. Lastly, he forged the Tenseiga from earth's fire from what was left from the angel's wing and the demon's fang. The dumbass then tried to overthrow Lucifer and Kami, but the idiot didn't know how to use the blades. He was easily killed and is still in the 9th level of hell being tortured. So, after that, Lucifer took Soanga and Kami took the Tenseiga and they both sealed away the Tenseiga, seeing as neither of them could touch it. But I convinced Kami to let the blade be given to you. Since you're half human and half demon, you're able to hold the blade, Ryu told Naruto. You convinced Kami to give the destroyer of this planet a powerful sword? Naruto asked. Well, no. I just took it without asking. So, try not to use the sword a lot. Kami might find out, Ryu said as he scratched the back of his neck. Naruto looked over the blade again and thought about it. He knew he was a half-demon from his mother's side. Ryu told him when he was 5. His thoughts turned to the Soanga Ryu was talking about. Naruto looked over at the sword strapped to Ryu's waist. Is that Soanga? Yep, Ryu said as he moved his coat out of the way so Naruto could get a better look at the sword. We better skip the talking and get you the hell out of here. The planet's not gonna hold forever. Reseal Tenseiga, Ryu told Naruto. Naruto did what he was told and resealed the blade. So, can we do this or what? Naruto asked. A few things I need to tell you about this world. 1. They don't speak our language, so you're going to have to adapt to theirs. 2. Remember your training, don't grow weak over there. 3. Don't tell people about ninjas and all that stuff unless you trust them with your life. That's about it, Ryu said. Okay, so am I ready? Naruto asked. Yep, Ryu said as he began to go through a series of hand seals. Snake, boar, rooster, tiger, dragon, hare, dog, snake, Ryu chanted. Oni akazuno gaidu, kozamiku janpu, Ryu shouted out. Nothing. Nothing's happening. Naruto began to speak before an eerie green glow came from behind him. He turned around and saw a light green portal open up. Never mind. Okay, Kit, you're ready to go, Ryu told him. About damn time, Naruto mumbled to himself. He began walking to the void, but stopped when Ryu called him. Hey Kit, wait a minute, Ryu said as he reached into his coat pocket. Here, Ryu said, pulling out a fox mask. He handed it to Naruto, who took it from the man and looked it over. If there is in fact something in that world that is dangerous, wear that so you can keep people knowing who you are and to keep them from asking questions. Thanks, Naruto said, putting the mask in his inner coat pocket, and began to walk towards the void, only stopped a few inches from it. I have a question, Naruto said without turning away from the void. What? Ryu asked. Naruto looked to his side where the village once was and saw the huge crater that he had drilled its way to the core of the planet. Oh, how did I do that? He asked. I remember you saying something when I was a kid, that half-demons were never able to get strong enough to even punch a crater in the ground. But I did that, Naruto said as he looked at the ground, feeling guilty about what he had done. You're right. Without the right amount training they can't, but you surpassed that level of power by training with the Akatsuki a while back. But if I were to guess, you might have drawn power from the rings that you guys had and used their power to form that thing, Ryu said as he also eyed the crater. Maybe you're wait. The rings. I can't leave them, but they were probably destroyed from that Rasengan, Naruto whimpered, a tear sliding down his cheek. Kami, you're still a kid, Ryu said, reaching into his overcoat. He pulled out a small brown bag and threw it to the blonde. There, so stop your crying and go already, Ryu said. Naruto caught the bag and opened it up. Inside were the rings of his late comrades. How? Naruto asked. The demonic chakra from the rings protected them. I guess they didn't want to be destroyed, Ryu said. Now get the hell out of here before the planet goes. Yeah, right. Naruto put the bag into his overcoat and turned back to the void and began to walk, but yet again, he was called. What now? Naruto asked, irritated. He turned around and was met with a boot to the face. Naruto flew back from the impact and into the void. Payback's a bitch. Haha, Ryu laughed as he rubbed his ass a little. That spark really hurt. The portal closed up, leaving Ryu alone. Well, better go. Ryu thought as he snapped his fingers and a black portal opened up beside him. Ryu quickly rushed into the portal before it closed up. The moment Ryu stepped into the portal, more lava erupted in the spot he vacated. Aha! A voice screamed from the upper atmosphere. A voice belonging to one Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto looked down at the tree-covered ground rushing towards him and started to scream a little more. His screams abruptly ended after he fell through the trees and hit the ground, leaving a human-sized crater. Oh, Kami. That funking hurt. Naruto groaned from where he was kicked, his whole body feeling like it was full of pins and needles. He rubbed his face as he weakly crawled out of the hole and tried to stand up without falling back on his butt. When he finally managed that, Naruto began to stumble around to get the feeling in his legs back. Once he had full control of his limbs again, he tried to figure out where the hell he was. From looking around, Naruto could see that it was morning and he was in some sort of forest, though the trees were smaller than what he was used to. Naruto dusted himself off and made sure that the Master Scroll was still on his back. Once he saw it was alright, he started to walk toward the sounds of civilization. Not 10 minutes later, Naruto came out of the forest only to find a big black strip of what looked like rock with yellow and white lines painted on it, and people in a style of clothing Naruto never seen before, walking on cement pathways next to the black stuff. Hanging from poles above the black ground were these big yellow metal things that had 3 colored lights inside. Beyond that were some very tall buildings. I've seen taller and seen weirder cloths before, Naruto thought rebelliously. He continued to survey the area, until a group of teens caught his attention. There were 3 teens in total. The one that seemed to be the leader of the group was a black-haired boy. He was wearing a white t-shirt with some design on the front in red and a pair of rough blue pants. On his back was a blue backpack. The second one was a girl whose black hair was in a ponytail. She was wearing a black tank top with another strange design on it, but the shirt only reached to about her belly button. She was also wearing a pleated green and black plaid skirt over long purple stockings that tucked into black leather boots. On her back was a purple backpack that looked like a cow's udders. The last one was a dark-skinned boy with a strange red cap on his head that looked like it was turned backwards. He wore a simple yellow sweater and a pair of army green cargo pants with brown shoes. On his back was an army green backpack. When Naruto finished examining the 3, he noticed that a lot of people were staring at him. More accurately, they were staring at the huge scroll on his back. Naruto, not liking the attention given the circumstances, felt kind of embarrassed. He ran across the black stone road, careful to look out for any dangers that might be lurking around the corners of this new world. When he reached the cement pathway, Naruto looked for the three teens he identified earlier and spotted them heading further into the large village on the path. Naruto followed them from a good distance behind, just close enough to hear anything they were saying. "So, what do you think you got on the math test, Danny?" Naruto heard the brown-skinned teen ask the black-haired boy. Danny. Finally, a name to put to the face, Naruto thought. But that's the only thing I got. What language are they speaking? And I never knew why our names sound the same over in Japan. Sigh, probably another F, Tucker. Danny replied dejectedly. And his friend is Tucker, Naruto mused. Ghosts aren't exactly conducive to studying, are they? The girl asked Danny. Naruto still didn't understand the three but still followed them. Yeah. I swear, Sam, there seem to be more ghosts now than when I first started. I mean, I barely get any sleep and I'm always sneaking around behind my parents' backs. It sucks having to lie to them, Danny told the girl. Sam? Her name is Sam? That's a guy's name. Naruto snickered. Unfortunately, Kami was not on his side. His inadvertent giggles weren't quiet enough for the three teens not to hear. Danny, Sam, and Tucker stopped walking and turned around to see where the snickering was coming from. Behind them they saw a blonde holding his fist up to his mouth to hold back laughter. Once the blonde stopped snickering, he also noticed that they were staring at him, and he stopped walking. There was an eerie silence between the four of them until the girl of the group spoke up. Why the hell were you following us? She asked as she crossed her arms over her chest. The blonde blinked, then turned to run from the three teens, only to bump into Dash and fall on his ass. Blondie scowled up from his spot on the ground and yelled out, Chodai zie makai auto zie ito gujinroba. The brick wall masquerading as a tall blonde reached down and picked Naruto up by the front of his overcoat. Naruto was then lifted into the air until he was eye level with the blonde, allowing Naruto to get a good look at the moron he bumped into. The blonde guy was wearing a red and white jacket over a black t-shirt, and the same rough blue pants as Danny. He also had a backpack on his back just like the three other teens. After having trained with Akatsuki members for 3 years, the blonde's posturing did not impress Naruto. Instead, he tilted his head to look at the 3 other teens behind the blonde. One of the teens sported a guy/flea-style haircut, but had squinted eyes. For some reason, he wore the exact same thing the blonde-haired guy was wearing. Some kind of uniform, maybe? Naruto pondered. Behind him was a girl with long black hair, wearing a pink t-shirt that only reached down to her belly button, a pair of tight-fitting blue pants that left her ankles uncovered, and white slip-on shoes. Another girl with long blonde hair stood beside the black-haired girl. She had on a white t-shirt with either a 9 or sideways katakana ta on it, and tight-fitting orange pants. Naruto was shaken out of his examination of the teens by the blonde, who yelled, "What the hell do you say, dumbass?" Since Naruto couldn't understand what the dumbass was saying, all he could think to say was, "Nanny?" He's speaking Japanese, Dash, the teen with the bowl cut told the built blonde. Dash? What kind of name is Dash? Naruto scoffed. You speak Japanese? I thought you were Korean, Dash asked. I'm half Korean and half Japanese, he told Dash. Oh. Well, what did he say, Quan? Dash asked him. He said what, Quan told him. No, before that, Dash yelled at him. Oh. He said, get the hell out of the way, dumbass. Quan translated. Dash growled as the 2 girls of the group shared a giggle. What? Oh, you're in for a world of hurt, you little funker. Dash yelled at the still unimpressed blonde in his grip. Dash pulled back his free hand, preparing to punch, but before he could follow through, he was interrupted by Danny. Dash, no! Danny yelled as he and his friends ran up to Dash. Come on, Dash, if he's speaking Japanese then he must not be from around here. Just put him down. Ark. Fine, but if he gets in my way or pisses me off, I'm coming after you. Come on, guys, we gotta get to school. Dash dropped Naruto, who landed perfectly on his feet, right next to Danny before he, Quan, and the girls walked off in the direction Danny and his friends had been walking. You got to be careful when it comes to Dash. He's a real prick, you know, Danny told Naruto. Again, since Naruto could not understand what any of them were saying, he just said, Nanny? Sai, he said, you got to be careful when it comes to Dash. He's a real prick, you know. Sam translated for Danny to the blonde in Japanese. Oh, thank Kami. Someone I can understand, Naruto cried out in relief. You can speak Japanese, Sam? Tucker asked the goth girl. Yeah, my parents thought it would be good for me to learn it, Sam replied. Well, come on, we have to get to school. Bye, Sam told the blonde before they continued on towards school. Hey, where you going? Naruto called after them. School, Sam replied as she kept walking. School? School is where people learn. If I were to go there, I could learn more about this world. Hey, can you take me to the school? I just, moved here and I need to sign up at the school, but I don't know where it is, Naruto lied, hoping they'd buy it. Sure. I don't see any problem with that. Just follow us, Sam told the blonde, who caught up to walk with them. What did he say, Sam? Danny asked. He asked if we could take him to Casper High so he can sign up. He said he just moved here and he didn't know how to get to the school, Sam answered. Oh, Danny replied. Hey, why was he following us earlier? Tucker asked. Let me ask. Hey, why were you following us earlier? Sam asked Naruto, who wasn't paying attention to them. Instead, he was just looking around at the buildings and stuff. Hey! Naruto stopped looking around and faced Sam. Why were you following us earlier? Sam asked again, a little irritated at having to repeat herself. Well, you guys were the first people I saw that were in my age group, so I decided to follow you guys and try to learn your language, Naruto told her. Oh. Well, that's understandable, Sam said. What'd he say? Danny asked. He said we were the first people he saw around the same age as him, so he began following us so he could learn English, Sam answered Danny. Hey, ask him what's with the scroll, Tucker told Sam. My friend Tucker wants to know why you have a giant scroll tied to your back, Sam asked Naruto. Oh. My uncle gave it to me before I moved here and I don't want to leave the scroll at home because I don't trust anyone, besides me, near it, Naruto answered. Sam gave him a skeptical look. What did he say? Tucker asked. His uncle gave it to him, and he doesn't want to leave it at home because he doesn't trust anyone with it but himself, Sam answered. Oh, Tucker said. The four kept talking until they got to a huge building with a sign in front that proclaimed Casper High School, which didn't mean anything to Naruto as he couldn't read it. Instead, he had to ask Sam what it said. Well, this is the high school. It's called Casper High, Sam told Naruto as the four walked up the steps to the school. How about you two go on to class and I'll take him to the principal's office, Sam told Danny and Tucker. Sounds okay to me. See you in class, Sam? Danny said as he and Tucker went off to class. Okay. Just follow me and I'll take you to the principal's office, Sam said as she began to walk down the hall with Naruto following right behind. On the way to the principal's office, Naruto was able to hear even more conversations and managed to pick up a few more words using what he already heard from Danny and Tucker with Sam translating. He also noticed that he was getting a lot of attention from the students. A few girls sent him lust-filled glances and the more observant males sent hateful and jealous looks in his direction. Wow. The girls are giving you some weird looks, huh? Sam told Naruto as she led the way down the hall. Yeah. I never got these looks back home, Naruto told her, covertly watching the girls looking at him. When they got to the principal's office, Sam took Naruto straight to Principal Ishiyama and told her that Naruto was here to sign up for classes. Ishiyama thanked Sam and ushered her off to class since she could speak Japanese. She proceeded to register Naruto in freshman courses at Casper High with a firm command that he study English in his spare time. Scene change: Mr. Lancer's classroom. Sam got to class just before the bell rang and sat down in her seat, next to Danny. "Hey Sam," Danny greeted his friend. "So, what happened to that kid?" Danny asked as he and the rest of the class waited for Mr. Lancer to get there. "I dropped him off at the principal's office," Sam answered. "He was kind of weird," Tucker said from behind Danny. "I'm gonna assume you mean weird." "Not as weird as you," Sam told him. "Funny," Tucker muttered, pouting. Yay, sarcasm. The three continued to talk about random happenings for a few minutes until Mr. Lancer walked into the room and began to talk. "Alright, class. Today I have a special announcement," Lancer told the class, many of whom were on the edge of their seats waiting to hear the news. "We have a new student." There were many groans and sighs. "Now behave, class. He's not from Amity Park and the least you could do is make him feel welcome," Lancer told his class, who still did not care. "I hoping he would say he was quitting," Danny whispered, to which his friends snorted in laughter. "I heard that, Mr. Fenton. You can come in now," Mr. Lancer called toward the door. The door opened up and the blonde-haired boy walked in and stood next to Lancer in front of the room. "Hey, Danny, Sam, it's the kid from before," Tucker told the two who looked up to see the blonde. "Now, why don't you introduce yourself?" Mr. Lancer suggested to the blonde. Mr. Lancer, he can't speak England." Sam started to speak but was cut off by the blonde in front of the room. Naruto Uzumaki. "So how was your first day so far?" Danny asked Naruto, who was sitting in front of him in the lunchroom, poking at what looked like bread with grass growing on it. "Fine, except for lunch part." "Why do you have to eat garbage? He's still learning English," Naruto asked as he took a bite of the bread but regretted it as his face curled up and turned green. He spit it out on his tray. "What funk this?" "Don't know. Sam somehow got the lunch menu changed last week because she thinks everyone should be a vegetarian. They're changing it back in a couple days. So I suggest you bring your own lunch for the next couple days," Danny told Naruto, who pushed the lunch tray away from him. "So, were you friends?" Naruto asked as he took a drink of water to get the taste of grass on a bun out of his mouth. "Sam's in the library getting information on purple-back gorillas for an extra credit project, and Tucker's probably somewhere polishing his PDA," Danny told the blonde, who was checking out the pretty girls in the lunchroom. "What PDA?" Naruto asked as he stopped looking at the girls. "A personal digital assistant, or a handheld computer," Danny told Naruto, who was staring at him wired. "A digital what? And what hell computer?" Naruto asked. "I'll explain another time," Danny told him. "K," Naruto said as he started to look at the girls again until his eyes landed on the girls he saw earlier that morning. "So, who they?" Danny turned his head in the direction Naruto was looking and saw Dash, Quan, and the two girls Naruto were talking about sitting at another table. "Oh, the dark-haired ones, Paulina and the blonde Star. They're always hanging out with Dash. Paulina is pretty rich and Star is her best friend. I kind of have a crush on Paulina," Danny told Naruto as he stared dreamily at Paulina. "Don't say." And what Naruto would say next, and if what he said came true, would cause all of hell to freeze over. "Bet I can get kiss." What? Danny almost yelled out. "She would never kiss you. You're not a jock. And what the hell would make you think she would kiss you?" "This." Naruto got up from his seat and walked over to Paulina's table. "Oh, this is too good to pass up," Danny said to himself as he reached into his pants pocket and pulled out a camera phone and started recording. Naruto got to the table and started to make his move. Hello, beautiful. How about a kiss? How about you get bent loose? Paulina started to say until she looked up at who said the lame pickup line only to meet with a blonde with blue eyes that you could lose yourself in, 3 cute whisker birthmarks on each cheek, and fine, perfect lips. Overall, in a woman's eye, he was hot. Paulina seemed to lose control of her body as she got up and planted a big wet kiss on the blonde's lips. Gasps were heard all over the lunchroom, and Danny dropped his phone on the table. Paulina got done kissing the blonde and sat back down as the blonde said his goodbyes and went back to the table he was sharing with Danny. I win, Naruto said as he put his fingers in the V for victory sign. Was all Danny and the whole lunchroom could say, or not say. What? Scene change, hell. Next. Ryu said out loud as he sat at his desk and stamped a piece of paper with the stamp of hell. Name. Saddam Hussein. A man said as he got up to the desk. Level 8, 9 levels of hell. Next. Ryu said as he stamped another piece of paper. Name. Ryu said before he heard one of his assistants ran up to him yelling. Sir! 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 The assistant yelled out. Sai, what now? Ryu asked. Sir, hell has frozen over. The assistant told him. What? Ryu roared as he ran outside of the registration hall, only to meet with a completely frozen hell. What is the cause of this? Ryu demanded. A new kid with blonde hair, who wasn't popular, got a kiss from the most popular girl in school up there in Amity Park. The assistant told the seething Ryu. Arg. Naruto. Scene change, lunchroom. She kissed you, Danny said as the conversations and noise returned to the lunchroom. Yep, Naruto said as he gave off a foxy smirk. How? Danny asked. Have to sell with eyes, Naruto told Danny, who by now picked up his phone and put it back in his pocket. Wow, was all Danny could say. Sam and Tucker came in the lunchroom and looked for Danny, and when they found him they went over to the table he was sitting at and sat down. Hey Sam, Tucker. Danny welcomed his friends. Hey, Sam and Tucker said unseen. Danny, why are you so pale? Sam asked. All Danny did was take his phone out of his pocket and played the video for them. When the video was over, Sam and Tucker sat there wide-eyed and mouth open. Holy, Tucker started. Shit, Sam finished. Dude, how did you do that? Tucker asked Naruto. Sold with eyes, Naruto answered. Your English is getting better, Sam told the blonde. Fast learner, Naruto told her. I'm surprised that Paulina even kissed you. I mean, you're the new kid and she's the most popular girl in school. I mean, she only goes out with jocks, Tucker said. What jock? Naruto asked. Jocks are those guys who wear those red and white jackets. Just like Dash over AO, Danny said before he saw Dash storming over to their table. Fenton, Dash yelled out at Danny. What the hell did I say before school started today? I don't know, Danny squeaked out as he started to slide away from Dash. Think said he gets in my way or pisses me off, I'm coming after you. Oh, me get now, Naruto told them. That's right. Now prepare to get the beating of your life, Fenton. Dash yelled at Danny as he beeped his fist back and was about to hit him until Sam interrupted. Dash, you hit him and you could get expulsion. Besides, we have gym next and we're playing dodgeball, so get him then, Sam told him. Fine, but prepare yourself, Fenton, because you're in for a world of hurt, Dash told Danny as he stormed back to his table. Beep, Naruto said out loud so Dash could hear. Prepare yourself too, Blondie, Dash yelled at him as he sat down at his table. Well, looks like he has two favorites now, Sam said as the bell rang. Well, come on. Let's go by our lockers and then go to gym, Danny told his two friends and Naruto. The four exited the lunchroom and went down the hall to their lockers. Danny, Sam, and Tucker kept on going down the hall and Naruto went down the right hall. This is where Skulker attacks Danny. Later, Naruto said as he gave them a wave goodbye. See you in gym, Danny told Naruto. Naruto kept walking down the hall until he came upon his locker. He put the combination in and opened it up. Naruto put his books in and was about to shut his locker when he noticed an envelope with his name on it. He picked it up, opened it, and read it to himself. Naruto. I know I told you to find your own living quarters, but I took the liberty to get you an apartment. It has everything you need to live and more. There are some things in the house that you may need help with, but I put a note on some of the things in your house to help you a little. The address is below, and before I forget, if you cause my domain to freeze over again, I'm going to kick your ass. The King of Hell, Ryu. 666 Boo Road, Arlington Heights, Illinois 00666. Try to find someone to take you there. Well, that sounds promising, Naruto thought as he pocketed the letter and closed his locker. Naruto headed down the hall towards the gym. He opened the gym door and went into the locker room to get changed for gym. He didn't start to get changed until everyone was out of the locker room, so that no one saw the ANBU armor. When he got done changing into his gym uniform and put the Master Scroll on his back, he went to the gym with everyone else. Alright, ladies. Today we're playing Dodgeball. Even numbers on the right side of the gym, and odd numbers on the left side of the gym. Now, Mr. Uzumake, since it's your first day, you need a number. Let's see, Mrs. Tetzlaff said as she looked at the clapboard in her hands. 32. That's your number. Remember it, Mrs. Tetzlaff said. It's Uzumaki, ma'am, Naruto told the gym teacher. I don't care what it is. Now get over there now, yelled at him as he ran over to the right wall. When Naruto got to the wall, he looked who was on his team. Danny and Tucker were the only ones Naruto knew, all the other ones looked weak and useless. Then Naruto looked at the other team. They had Dash, Quan, Paulina, Star, Sam, and a lot of those guys in red and white jackets. Thunk, Naruto thought before he heard Danny calling his name. Hey Naruto. You got on our team. Alright. We could use more people, but it won't matter, we always lose, Danny said. Hey, Naruto said until he noticed something wrong with Danny's arm. Are those chain marks? Naruto asked as Danny tried to cover them up with his arm. Oh, that? It's nothing. I can't trust him with my secret yet. I just met the guy, Danny thought. If you say so, Naruto said. So, why Sam on their team? Naruto asked Danny as he looked back at the other team. Her number's odd, Danny told him. So can explain to me this game? Naruto asked as the teacher blew her whistle and the game begun. Not 5 seconds in, a random kid got hit in the face with a dodgeball. Don't get hit, Danny told him as he jumped to the left to dodge a ball. Oh, was all said as he ducked to avoid a ball. Time skip, half-hour later. Naruto stood alone on his side against the other team, who still had all their players. The only reason the game was lasting so long was because all Naruto did was dodge. Stay still, damn it, Dash yelled out as he threw another ball at Naruto only for him to slide to the right, dodging the ball. Slow, Naruto muttered as he dodged another ball. Naruto, get them out, Tucker yelled from the sidelines. How? Naruto asked. Catch the ball or hit them with it, Danny answered for Tucker. Oh, that easy? Naruto said as he caught a ball with his right hand and chucked it right back at the other team, hitting one of them in the face, and the ball bounced off the teen's face, hitting another teen in the leg. You 3 out, Mrs. Tetzlaff yelled at the three. You got hit. The three went over to the sidelines and sat down. Naruto picked up one of the balls off the ground and threw it at another teen, and hit him in the arm. You're out! Mrs. Tetzlaff yelled at the one who got hit. And Paulina, stop staring at yourself with that mirror and get in the game. Mrs. Tetzlaff yelled at Paulina. But I might break a nail, Paulina told the teacher as stared at her nails. Yeah, and you'll get all sweaty too. Star added her 2 cents before her and Paulina were hit in the face with dodgeballs. Sorry, Naruto yelled out. A few minutes later, Naruto, Dash, and Sam were the only ones in the game. Why is it so hard to hit him? Dash yelled out as he threw another ball at Naruto, only for him to dodge it again. Shut up and keep throwing, Sam told Dash as she also threw a ball at Naruto, who yet again dodged it. Too slow, Naruto said. Stand still, dope, Dash said as he threw another ball at Naruto. Dope? At that word, Naruto froze and thought about the one person who always called him that. Sasuke. Flashback. What's the matter, dope? Scared? Sasuke said. Flashback. Who would love a dope like you? Flashback. Let's finish this dope, once and for all. And flashback. The word kept replaying itself inside of his head as he looked at the floor and grabbed his head with his hands. The ball neared on Naruto's position every second. Sasuke. No, 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 Naruto thought. The ball was only a few inches from Naruto's head until he brought his hand up and caught it. Naruto took his other hand away from his head and raised it. Dash and Sam could have sworn they saw Naruto's eyes turn red for a minute. What the hell, wah? Dash started to say before he was cut off by the whiskered teen. TMMME, Naruto roared as he added a little bit of chakra in his hand that had the ball in it and threw it at Dash. The ball flew at Dash so fast that no one saw it leave Naruto's hand. The ball hit Dash in the stomach so hard that it made him fly back and hit the wall, knocking him unconscious. The whole gym class stood wide-eyed. Okay, I give, Sam said as she backed away to the sidelines. Well then, that means the evens win, Mrs. Tetzlaff said as the evens cheered for their victory. Danny and Tucker went to go see what was wrong with Naruto but couldn't find him. Scene change outside school. Naruto sat on the last step of the stairs that led to the school door, thinking about what happened. I lost my cool. I need to control myself, Naruto thought as he laid his head in his hands until he heard the school doors open and tons of teens came running out of the school. Naruto got up from the step and waited for Danny and the others. When they did come out, Naruto climbed the steps and confronted them. Hey, Naruto said. Hey. So, what happened back there? Danny asked the blonde as Sam, Tucker, Naruto and him walked down the steps and then down the street, heading home. Nothing. Just pissed me off is all, Naruto lied to the three. Oh, okay, Danny said, who did not believe a word Naruto said. Have a question. Can take me here? Naruto asked as he showed them the address Ryu gave him. Danny and the others looked at the paper and thought over it. Tucker? Danny asked. Tucker pulled out his PDA out of his pocket and started to press a few buttons. We have an hour before Skulker gets to the zoo, so we have time. It's on the way too, Tucker told Danny. All right. Let's go, Danny said as they proceeded to Naruto's apartment. Who's Skulker? Naruto asked. A ghost hunter, Tucker said before Danny and Sam elbowed him in the stomach. My uncle. Yeah. Skulker is my uncle and we're meeting him at the zoo, Sam told Naruto. Uncle my ass. Have fun, Naruto told them. Sigh, that was close. Tucker, you can't go around telling people about the ghosts we're fighting. You almost blew it, Danny told Tucker, in a hushed voice. Ops, sorry. Just slipped out. Tucker apologized. Sigh, it's okay, but just keep it on the down low, Danny told Tucker, who just shook his head yes. Enhanced hearing. Gotta love it, Naruto thought. The group of teens kept on walking to the apartment, and the whole time they were walking, Naruto took in his surroundings so he could find his way back to the school and other things. Naruto also asked a lot of questions about the town. In the end, Naruto found out that the black ground were called streets, the white stones were called sidewalks, the yellow metal things, that kept changing to red to green to yellow and back to red, were called traffic lights, and the big metal monsters on 4 wheels were called cars. He learned that the hard way. You know, you're lucky he didn't sue you, Sam yelled at the blonde. Not my fault. Never seen car before, Naruto told her as he started to pout a little. Not your fault. You destroyed his car, Sam yelled at him. Sam, he did say he never saw a car before, so go easy on him, and besides we're here, Danny told them as the group stopped walking and looked at the apartment. It looked like those New York apartments, with the fire exits outside the windows and all, A/N, not going into great detail. Well, we got to go, so later, Danny told Naruto as he ran in the direction of the zoo. Bye/later, dude, Sam and Tucker said before they took off after Danny. With the goodbyes all said and done, Naruto went into his apartment and looked around. When he was done looking around, he now had 1 master bedroom, 2 spare bedrooms, living room, kitchen, and a bathroom, A/N, apartment plan in bio because I really don't know how to describe apartment. Naruto took of the master scroll and put it on the coffee table in the living room and sat down on the couch. Naruto noticed 3 notes. 1 on the TV, 1 next to something that looked like that PDA Tucker showed him, and 1 on the coffee table. Naruto picked up the one next to the PDA thing and read it. Naruto, this is an MP3 player. It lets you listen to music. It has a few songs on it, and it could hold up to 200. Have fun. Naruto put down the note and picked the MP3 player and put in his pocket. Naruto then got up and took the note on the TV and read it. Naruto, I hope to God you know what this is. It's just like the ones we had back home, but they have a lot more channels and few other channels that I know you would love. Wonder what he means by that? Naruto thought as he put the note down and picked up the last note and read it. Naruto, there are a few things in the Master Scroll that you need to look at. When you open the scroll you will see a lot of seals. The name of what's in the seal is under it. Open it up and unseal the one that says ANBU seal. A piece of paper should come out, and on that paper there is a seal. Copy the seal with some ink that's sealed in the scroll, to your left hand. Seal your ANBU armor and mask in that seal. One more thing, in the scroll there is a seal with money in it. It should last for a while, unless you spend it all. There is a total of 50,000 in there. Well, that's all I need to tell you, so have fun. P.S. Try to find a girl or more. P.S. Put a Gen just on your umbu tattoo and the seal you're putting on your hand when you're not in your ANBU armor. Smartass, Naruto muttered as he put that note down and picked up the Master Scroll. He opened it up on the coffee table and began looking for the seal. He found the ink seal and bit his thumb and wiped the blood on the seal. A paintbrush and some ink poofed into existence. Naruto put them aside and began looking for the other seal. He found that too, and did the same with the other seal. Like Ryu said, a piece of paper poofed into existence. Naruto examined it, and all it was a miniature version of the seal on his stomach. Naruto put down the paper, picked up the brush and ink and began to copy the seal on his hand. When he was done, he added a little bit of chakra to the seal, so it could dry quickly. When it dried he took off the ANBU armor he was wearing under his cloths and the mask in the hoodie pocket, and sealed them into the seal as well as the Tetsusaiga. When that was done, Naruto resealed the paintbrush and the ink back into the Master Scroll and rolled it up. Naruto noticed the TV remote on the coffee table and picked it up. Let's see what the hell he was talking about, Naruto thought as he turned the TV on. A couple hours later, Naruto was on the edge of his seat, watching CSI Miami. It was the cab driver who killed her. It has to be, Naruto announced as he stood up and waited for the detective on the TV to say who did it. All the clues point to the cab driver, the detective on the TV said. Ha, I knew it, Naruto told himself. Someone from outside screamed. What the funk was that? Naruto said as he ran outside and down the street until he heard someone talking in an alleyway not so far from his apartment. Naruto crept up to the alleyway. The blonde glanced into the alley and gasped at what was happening. A man had cornered a girl into the dead end of the alley with a pipe in his right hand. The girl had red hair with a blue headband in it, and wore a black shirt and blue pants. This is going to be fun, the man said as he hit the girl in the side of the face with the pipe. The girl went down. She backed up in the corner of the alley awaiting her demise. That's when Naruto made his move. Naruto quietly walked into the alley and stopped about 10 feet away from the man. Is there a problem here? Naruto said. The man turned around to see who had spotted him. No, not at all, the man said as he gave off an evil smile at Naruto. Naruto ignored the man's smile and looked at the girl. She had a little blood running down the side of her head, she was crying and she was quivering with fear. Naruto brought his eyes back to the man. You were trying to rape her, weren't you? Naruto asked the man. What is it to you? The man asked him as he started to hit the pipe against his palm. I won't let you hurt her. I'll kill you if I have to, Naruto said as he glared at the man. Well, I would like to see you try. The man swung the pipe at Naruto, who caught it with his left hand and slowly bent it with ease. The man was speechless. My turn. Naruto punched the man in the face. The man flew back and landed next to the girl, who quickly stood up and walked away from the now unconscious man. Taught him, Naruto said before he looked at the girl. Are you all right? He started to say before the girl captured his lips with hers. Thank you? The girl whispered as she ran out of the alleyway, to who knows where. Weird, Naruto said. He made sure the girl was long gone before he confronted the downed man. Naruto put his hands in the snake hand sign and proceeded to talk to the man. I don't like rapists, and for you being one, your punishment is death. Snake, dog, sheep, tiger. Katan, Inen Tsiba. Naruto chanted before he spit out a flaming lugi. It hit the man and proceeded to burn him to a crisp. Say hi to Ryu for me. Naruto walked out of the lit alleyway and walked back to his apartment to finish watching his shows. Scene change, Fenton works. Jack and Maddie Fenton were busy waiting for their kids to get home. Jack was messing with the ghost gabber and Maddie was reading a book until the door slammed open and in runs the red-haired girl from the alley. Mom, Dad! The red screams. Maddie put down her book to see what was wrong until she saw the redhead. Jazz! Maddie screamed as she got up from her seat and ran to her daughter and hugged her. What happened? Maddie asked the crying redhead. Sob, I sob, was almost sob raped. Jazz managed to sob out as she hugged her mother back. What? By who? Jack yelled out as he put down the ghost gabber and ran to his daughter's side. Hush, Jack, now sweetie, tell us what happened. Maddie told her daughter as she rubbed small circles into the girl's back to try to soothe her. She was about to speak when the front door opened again and in came Danny. Hey, whoa. What happened to Jazz? Danny asked as he closed the front door. She was almost violated, Jack told his son. Gasp, by who? Danny asked. That's what we're about to find out. Okay, Jazz, tell us what happened, Maddie told her daughter. Okay. Sniff, I was walking to the zoo because I heard Danny went there for extra credit, sniff, and I thought I could help him, but when I got to Boo Street, a man started to chase me, sniff. I ran away from him until I went down an alley, but it was dead end. I backed up to the sob wall and he said something about this is going to be fun, and he hit me with a metal pipe. He was about to hit me again until someone came behind the guy, sniff. They talked for a minute until the other guy threatened the man with the pipe. The man swung at the guy, but he caught it and punched the man in the face, knocking him out. After that I got up, gave him a kiss, thanked the guy and ran home, sniff. Jazz told her family. What did the guy who saved you look like? Maddie asked. He had blonde hair, sniff, had blue eyes, and he had these wired birthmarks on his cheeks. They looked like whiskers. Sniff, he kinda looked like a fox. Jazz told her. Hey, there's a new kid at school who matches that description. Danny told his family. Okay, Danny, tell your father who he is and I'll take Jazz upstairs to get her cleaned up. Maddie told Danny as she got up off the floor with Jazz and went upstairs. So, who is he? Jack asked his son. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, Danny told him. Beep. 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 Crunch. Naruto swung his fist at the accursed abomination on the end table next to his bed and destroyed it. Damn clock, it's only 6 in the funking morning! Naruto yelled in his head as he covered himself back up and tried to go back to sleep. Beep. 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 Naruto swung the covers off of him and picked up the semi-destroyed clock and took it to the window in his room. He opened up the window and threw it out and closed the window back up. Might as well get ready for school, Naruto thought as he went to the bathroom and took a shower. It took about a half hour because he kept falling asleep. Naruto went to his room only clad with a towel and went to the dresser. He opened it up and nothing. There were no cloths. All there was a note. Naruto picked up the note and read. I didn't stock with cloths. Sorry. That goddamn son of a bitch! Naruto yelled out as he slammed the dresser drawer. I can't wear what I wore yesterday. They're dirty. Naruto thought as he sat down on his bed and put his hand on his chin, in the thinking position until something dawned on him. The Master Scroll has cloths. Naruto hopped up from the bed and ran to the coffee table where he left the Master Scroll. Naruto unrolled the scroll and browsed the cloths that were in it. When he was done, Naruto was wearing a plain black t-shirt with his red spiral on the back and a pair of black jeans. Naruto rolled up the scroll and put it on his back, and went out the front door. Naruto walked down the street, heading towards the school, listening to his MP3 player that he figured how to use last night. As he walked down the street he swore he kept on hearing loud bangs, and Naruto being Naruto, he ignored it and thought nothing of it. Bang, there it is again, Naruto thought as he took off his headphones and listened for the cause of the noise. Nothing. Naruto put the headphones again and began walking again. Bang, what the hell is it? Naruto yet again thought as he took the headphones off again and waited until he heard the noise again. Bang, there it is! Naruto took off running down the street to where he heard the noise. Naruto kept on running till he got to a large building that had the word bank on it. Around the building, there were tons of people. The police there had put yellow tape around the bank, so to keep the people away from the bank. One of the police officers had a megaphone in his hand and began to speak into it. Let the hostages go and come out with your hands up, the officer yelled at the building. Bang, the front window of the bank shattered and a small bullet hole appeared next to the officer's foot. The officer and the crowd around the bank scattered away from the bullet hole, screaming their heads off. We're not letting the hostages go until we get our getaway car, a man shouted out the broken window as he held a gun to a young girl's head. Thunk. This is going to get bad, Naruto thought to himself. I got to help out, but if they see me use any of my jutsu, there's going to be questions. Naruto began to look around to see if there was something he could use to hide his identity. He kept looking around until he saw an ally, and then something dawned on him. That's it! Naruto ran into the alleyway and looked around to make sure no one saw him go in. When Naruto was sure no one saw him, he unleashed the Gain Jutsu on his hand that was hiding his anew seal. He bit his thumb until blood was drawn and wiped it on the seal. Poof! Naruto went up in a plume of smoke, and when the smoke disappeared, Naruto stood there wearing his white porcelain fox mask. Naruto also wore a black tank top under the standard anew white armor, and the black and white arm guards. He had the black anew cargo pants and black ninja sandals on, and on his back, the Tetsusaiga was there, replacing the Master Scroll. Let's kick some ass, Naruto said to himself as he began to walk out of the alleyway, but not before grabbing a trash can lid from the alley floor and placing it on his head. Alright. We got your car. Now let the officer started to yell to the kidnappers before he stopped to look at the masked blonde that just crossed the yellow tape. Hey you dumbass, what the hell do you think you're doing? Saving the hostages, the masked blonde stated as he resumed walking to the entrance of the bank with the trash can lid resting on his head. You eyed it. You'll get the hostages killed. Men, get him! The officer yelled out the order to his men. The other police officers crossed the yellow tape and ran towards the masked blonde. They made it halfway before a loud bang was heard. They looked towards where they heard the shot and saw that the robber that had shot the young girl in the head. Looks of horror were on the faces of every man and woman who was watching. I told you if you came near, I would shoot this brat in the head, the robber yelled to the officers. What brat? All I see is a log, the masked blonde said. What? The robber asked as he looked down at the kid he just killed only to see a log. The officers and the civilians had the looks of WTF on their faces. The robber looked at the blonde, as well as the officers and the civilians, and saw that the kid that the robber had was in the blonde's arms. How? The robber whispered. The blonde put the girl down and patted her on the head before she took off into the crowd around the bank. Anything's possible when you're a ninja. The blonde took the trash can lid off his head and threw it at the robber. The lid went through the window, breaking it even more, and hitting the robber in the face. The blonde ran to window with incredible speed and jumped in the bank. When the blonde was inside the bank, he quickly looked around. There was a total of 5 hostages in the middle of the bank, tied up, and there were 3 more robbers. 2 were guarding the hostages and the other one was putting money into bags. Hey! What the hell are you doing? One of the robbers yelled / asked the masked blonde as he and the other guard pointed their guns at him. Didn't you hear me when I was outside? I'm saving the hostages. The blonde reached for the holster on his leg and pulled out 2 kunai. He threw the kunai knives at the robbers and the kunai knives impaled themselves into the hole of the robbers' guns, rendering them useless. The blonde acted quickly and rushed the robbers. Once he reached one of the robbers, he crouched down and uppercut the robber in the chin. The robber flew up into the air, and while the masked blonde was in the air from the uppercut, he roundhouse kicked the other robber in the face, knocking him out. The first robber fell down on the ground in a heap, while the other robber slammed into the wall. The blonde landed on the ground and ran over to the hostages. Naruto pulled out another kunai from his holster and crouched down to cut the rope. Don't worry, I'm a professional. The blonde successfully cut the ropes and repocketed his kunai. Alright. Let's get. The blonde started to say before the last forgotten robber from behind the counter interrupted him. Hey Blondie! The blonde looked over at the counter to see the forgotten robber pointing his gun at him and the hostages. Funk! The masked blonde said as he started to go through hand seals. Goat, horse, dog. The blonde chanted. Eat this! The robber shouted as he fired his gun. The blonde quickly slammed his hands on the ground and shouted out Doton, Dorakugeshi. A huge wall made up of earth arose from the ground, blocking the bullets in the nick of time. The robber and the hostages stood there, eyeing the wall made of earth. What the hell is this? Some kind of trick? I hate tricks. The robber kept firing his gun at the wall, hoping for it to break. Hey! The blonde whispered to the hostages. When I say run, run. Got it? The hostages shook their heads yes. Good. The blonde put his back up to the earth wall and reached into his holster and pulled out a pocket-sized mirror. He poisoned the mirror around the wall so he could see the robber and know when to strike. Bang, come on out, bang, blondie. Bang. Not yet, the blonde thought. Bang, what are you? Bang, scared? Bang. Not yet. Bang, come on. Bang, I want to click, click. Now run! The blonde yelled. The hostages ran to the door while the blonde ran out from behind the wall and rushed the robber before he could reload. The blonde reached the counter and jumped. While the blonde was in the air, he beeped his fist back. The blonde came down onto the robber as well his fist. The blonde picked up the knocked-out robber and tied him up, as well as the other three. He picked up the now tied-up robbers, 2 in each hand, and went out the front door of the bank. The blonde was met with cheers of people and flashes of cameras. The blonde walked down the steps of bank and threw the robbers to the police while continuing walking. Hold on to those for me, the masked blonde told the officers, who were quickly handcuffing the robbers. The blonde began to walk down the street before he was stopped by shouts from reporters that surrounded him. They bombarded him with questions and more questions. They stopped when the blonde put up his hand. He pointed to the women news reporter in front of him and said, What? Hello, we're from the Channel 66 news station and we wanted to ask you a few questions. The woman said as she put the microphone up to where the blonde's mouth should be. Shoot, the blonde told her. What's your name? My name? You want to know my name? The masked blonde asked. His answer was her, and about the whole crowd, shaking their heads yes. All right then. The blonde started to say as he stood tall, chest puff out, and took a big breath of air. I am known as Valentina's Alkalinella Xifax Cicidabhertz. Gambigobilla Blues Stradivari Talent Trent Pierre Andre Charton Hamus Ivanovicide Baldius George Deutzel Kaiser III. Don't hesitate to call. What? Was all the news reporter and everyone could say. Hehehe. Just call me Fox. Fox told the people. That's so much easier to remember, the news reporter said. I have another question. How did you do that? She said as she pointed at the bank, which had its front doors open, revealing the earth wall. Anything's possible when you're a ninja, Fox stated. Hey! You! The officer that had the loudspeaker shouted at Fox. You're hereby under arrest for endangerment of public safety. The officer pushed through the crowd with a pair of handcuffs in his hand, determined to arrest Fox. Oops, gotta go. See ya later. Fox waved at them before he disappeared into a swirl of leaves, leaving the crowd in awe. Naruto pushed open the front doors to the school, wearing what he had on before, Master Scroll and all. Naruto roamed the halls looking for the 3 teens he met yesterday. The whole time Naruto was walking, he heard the students talking about the new masked hero that stopped a bank robbery and saved the hostages today. Hell, some girls had shirts with Fox's face on it. How the hell did they get shirts? I stopped the robbery a half hour ago. Naruto pushed his thoughts to the back of his head and resumed looking for the teens. Naruto kept looking until he saw Sam and Tucker standing next Danny's locker, talking. Hey! Naruto announced his prescience to the 2. Hey Naruto / what's up? Sam and Tucker said at once. The 3 kept on talking about stuff like goths, music, tech, and the whole computer thing, until Naruto noticed something. Hey! Where's Danny? The blonde asked. All the teens did was shrug, not knowing where their friend was. The 3 were about to resume their conversation until... Will Mr. Naruto Uzumaki please report to the principal's office? The loudspeakers roared. What did you do? Tucker asked the blonde. Hell if I know. Naruto told him. Well, you better get going, Sam told him while giving him a smug look. Yeah. Thanks, the blonde told her as he began walking to the office. Once the blonde was gone, the two resumed talking. Why are you so mean to him? Tucker asked the goth girl. I still don't trust him. The way he snapped yesterday and all. And I swore I saw his eyes turn red yesterday too, Sam told the tech geek. Well, lighten up on him. He's new here. He doesn't know anything yet, Tucker told her as he began to walk to first period before the bell rang. He really didn't want another detention. Yeah. Maybe you're right, Sam said as she began to follow Tucker. I'm keeping my eyes on him. He could be serious trouble for Danny and us. Naruto reached the office and opened the door. The blonde was met with Principal Uchiha sitting at her desk, Danny sitting in a chair across from the principal's desk along with a big man wearing an orange leather jumpsuit, and a red-haired woman wearing a blue leather jumpsuit. Ah, Mr. Uzumaki. Please sit down. Principal Uchiha pointed to the seat to the right of Danny. The sitting order was no, the big guy in orange, the redhead in blue, Danny, then Naruto. Now, what am I here for? Naruto asked as he took the master scroll off of his back and placed it next him on the floor. You're sure impatient. Well, to get to the point, I asked you down here to ask you if you saved a girl last night, in an alley, on Boo Street. The principal asked. Yeah. Why? The blonde asked. Not a second after he said that he was lifted up from his chair and pulled into a bone-crushing hug by the women in the blue jumpsuit. Thank you? Thank you? Thank you? Thank you? Thank you? The redhead shouted out as she hugged the life out of Naruto. The big guy got up from his chair and gave Naruto a big pat on the back. Thank you so much for saving our daughter. We don't know how to repay you, the big guy told the blonde. Can't, gasp, breath, gasp. Naruto managed to speak out. Mom, I don't think he can breath. Danny pointed out to his mother, who quickly saw the state the blonde she was hugging was in. Oops, I'm so sorry, Maddie told Naruto as she quickly released him. Naruto fell to the ground and began gasping for air. Once the blonde regained his breath, he stood up in front of the two jumpsuit-wearing adults, while rubbing his sore arms. No. That's okay, Naruto told them. So, I'm guessing you're that girl's parents. Yep, the big guy stated. My name's Maddie and this is my husband Jack, Maddie said as she pointed to the big guy in orange. Hello? Naruto greeted them as he shook both of their hands. We came here to thank you for saving our daughter Jazz, and it would mean the world to us if you and your family could come over for dinner tonight, Maddie told the blonde. Sure, I would love. Wait, did you say family? Naruto asked, but inside of his head he was freaking out. Yes. Why? Can't they make it? Maddie asked the now sweating blonde. Well, you see, they're on a business trip, and they won't be back for a couple of months. Naruto spoke out and gave himself an inwardly pat on the back. Oh. Well, can you still come over? Maddie asked hopefully. Sure. I got nothing going on. What time should I come over? Naruto asked. After school. Danny will take you to our house. Okay? Maddie told the blonde. Yep. Naruto told her. Alright. Danny and Naruto, go to first period. Class has already begun, the principal told the two teens. They walked out of the office and began to walk down the hall. Hey, Danny said as he stopped walking. HM? Naruto replied. Danny reached his hand out. Thank you for saving my sister, man. You're welcome, Naruto said while giving off one of his foxy smirks and shook Danny's hand. The school day went like any other school day should have gone. Mr. Lancer had a book titled How to Sound Hip for the Unhip and was calling everyone his dog, or G, or some shit like that. Tucker tried to get a date for the dance tomorrow night. Keyword tried. He didn't get a single one. Danny got a date with Paulina somehow. Also, Danny's pants kept on falling down, which resulted in Danny's dad to be called into school. When his dad came to school, he seemed weird, well, weirder. His eyes were green and his voice was different. Well, school finally ended and Danny and Naruto were on their way to Fenton Works, but not before Danny told Sam and Tucker that he would meet them at the mall after dinner. Danny and Naruto had arrived at Fenton Works and all Naruto could do is stare. "What the hell is that?" Naruto asked as he pointed at the roof of the building. "Oh, that? It's the ops center," Danny answered. "Not even going to ask," Naruto said as he and Danny walked up the steps leading to the front door. Danny opened the front door and called out for his mother. "Mom! I'm home! And I brought Naruto!" Danny's mother came rushing into the living room with oven mitts on and greeted the two boys. "Welcome home, Danny, and it's good to see you again, Naruto." "It's good to see you too, Mrs. Fenton," Naruto said to her. "Hey Mom, where's Dad and Jazz?" Danny asked his mother as he looked around for the two. "Your father is in our room looking for a suit for the dance tomorrow, and Jazz is upstairs in her room. Now come on and sit down at the kitchen table, you two. Dinner will be ready in a few," Maddie told the two as she walked to the bottom of the stairs. "Jack, Jazz, dinner's almost ready." Maddie left back into the kitchen to finish preparing dinner. Danny and Naruto walked into the kitchen and sat down at the table. Naruto to the right of Danny. "This is beautiful house you have here, Mrs. Fenton," Naruto stated. "Why, thank you," Maddie said, blushing at the stove. "Suck up," Danny whispered to Naruto. "Bite me," Naruto whispered back as he took the Master Scroll off of his back and placed it on the floor next to him. Jack came downstairs, walked to the kitchen and sat down to the left of Danny. "Hello, Danny, my boy, and hello to you too, Naruto," Jack greeted. "Hey, Dad/Mr. Fenton," Danny and Naruto said at the same time. Maddie came to the table and set up plates and silverware. She went back to the stove and then came back with a pot and a tray. She put a serving from each one and put it on each plate. There were mashed potatoes and ham. "This looks delicious, Mrs. Fenton," Naruto told her as he smelled the aroma of the food. "Thank you, Naruto," Maddie told him as she sat down next to Jack. "So I'll cook you up," Danny whispered. Jazz came downstairs and went to the kitchen. She was about to go sit down at the table until she noticed a familiar blonde. She finally realized it was the boy who had saved her last night. Jazz just stood there staring at him wide-eyed. Naruto felt that someone was staring at him and turned around and saw Jazz. Naruto smiled and stood up and walked over to her and outstretched his arm. "Hello, you must be Jazz. We weren't properly introduced last time we met. So, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you." Now, Naruto was expecting a handshake or a hello, but no. Jazz grabbed the blonde and gave him a bone-crushing hug. "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," Jazz said into the blonde's shoulder. Now, Naruto not being used to hugs, he didn't know what to do. He just decided to hug back. "It's okay," Naruto said into her ear as he led her to her seat. Jazz sat down in her chair next to Naruto and Maddie. Dinner went off great. The family and their guests talked about various stuff. The economy, people, ghosts. Jack kept on telling Naruto about ghosts and all that. He told him about all the inventions he and Maddie invented, but the one that caught Naruto's attention was the ghost portal he talked about. Apparently, it opened a door to where ghosts live. He also got to learn a lot about the family, like Danny hated Christmas, Jazz had a toy bear named Bear Bert, and their parents were really smart, spite the way they dress. When dinner was over, Danny went to the mall with Sam and Tucker. "That was a good meal, Mrs. Fenton, but it's getting late and I have to get going." Naruto got up from his seat and placed the Master Scroll back on his back. Thank you, Naruto, and it's a shame you have to go. Jazz, can you help me with the dishes? Maddie got up from her seat and took her and Jack's plate and went to the sink. Jazz got up from hers and picked up hers and Naruto's plate and went to the sink with her mother. Bye, Naruto told the three as he walked to the door. Bye, Maddie and Jazz said in unseen. Maddie looked over at Jack, waiting for him to do something. Oh, right. Jack got up from his chair and rushed over to Naruto before he opened the door. Naruto, wait up. Yes? Naruto said as he turned around to face the man. Maddie and I were wondering if you could stay with Jazz tomorrow night while we chaperone Danny's school dance, if you're not going, that is. Jack asked hopefully. Sure. I wasn't planning on going anyways. I think it's a little stupid, Naruto told him. Great. Let's break out the fudge, Jack roared. Heh. Maybe another time, Mr. Fenton. I really got to get going, Naruto said as he opened the door. Bye. See you guys tomorrow, Naruto yelled out as he walked out of the house, closed the door, and headed home. Time skip, tomorrow night? Okay. Emergency numbers are on the fridge. Danny already left to go get Paulina, and we should be home around midnight. Are you two going to be okay here? Maddie told the two teens in front of her. Yeah, Mom, we'll be okay. Just go already. You don't want to be late, Jazz told her mother as she tried to push her out the door. What's she up to? Naruto thought as he stood there watching the girl. You know, I don't even remember agreeing to chaperone this dance, Jack said as he tried to put his tie on. Maddie went over to her husband to help him with his tie. There you go, Maddie said as she walked back to the front door. All right, we're leaving. You kids stay out of trouble now. Maddie walked out of the house and got into the Fenton RV. One more thing before we leave, Jack told the two, and for some reason, Jazz seemed worried. Stay out of my fudge. Jazz seemed to calm down after he said that, like she was expecting for him to say something else. Jack left the house, got in the RV, and drove off to the dance. Jazz was looking out the window making sure they left. You okay? Naruto asked the girl. Why, yeah. I totally fine, Jazz stuttered. Wired. Okay. So, what do you want to do? Naruto asked. Let's watch TV, Jazz said as she took Naruto's hand and dragged him to the couch. She pushed the blonde down onto the couch and sat down next to him. She turned the TV on and started to watch. She's up to something, but what? Naruto thought as he turned to watch the TV with the girl. An hour passed and the two were still watching TV, until Jazz turned it off all of a sudden. What's up? Naruto asked. Naruto. I want to repay you for saving me the other day, Jazz told the blonde with a wired look in her eyes. No, that's alright. You don't have to anything for me, Naruto told the girl while smiling. Oh, but I insist, Jazz said lustfully as she stared to crawl towards the blonde. What the hell? Naruto yelled in his mind. Time skip, a couple hours later. Knock 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 was the sound Naruto woke up to. Naruto looked around the room to see what made the noise, and when he couldn't find what made it, he went back to sleep next to the girl. Knock knock knock, Jazz. You in there? A voice said from the other side of Jazz's door. Ah, funk. Naruto jumped out of the bed taking a pillow with him and rushed to the window, but before he could reach it, the door opened up and revealed Danny with his hand on the doorknob. Danny looked into the bedroom, and what he saw would scare him for life. His sister was sleeping on her bed, naked, and by the window, there stood Naruto, naked, with a pillow covering himself. I know what you're thinking, Naruto said as he put up his unused hand in defense. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.